Well, hello. So unconditional love. Oh. Let's talk about unconditional love. Let's talk about unconditional love. Let's talk about unconditional love. Uh, that's my little ditty. Unconditional love. Uh, you will be able to purchase it on iTunes in the future if I decide to make it into a song. In an alternate reality. Back to unconditional love. So, what is unconditional love? I may say some things that are a little controversial and a little weird, like, but so unconditional love is love without conditions. So, what does it mean in various different forms? Some people argue and say, "I love my children unconditionally." I'm like, well, you don't, because they're your children. Within the scope of your children, you may love them unconditionally based on whatever they may do. So within the scope of your children, you may love them unconditionally, but within the scope of total unconditional love, you do not seem to show them that you do not seem to show the entire world that you love them unconditionally. Then it gets into an interesting characteristic because if you're a parent and you love everybody unconditionally, then it's like, how does that manifest itself? I don't know. That's just various different forms. So, unconditional love. Let's keep talking about unconditional love. So, for instance, if my soulmate were this apple and I could not eat this apple, I just had to wait till it died and then reincarnated and wait till it became of age and then we had to go on dates and stuff like that and if I had to wait that long, then is that unconditional love? I think that when people look at those kind of stories where like, oh, he was in love with an apple and he became a vampire just to wait till the apple would return. By J.K. Rowling, and he was a wizard too. So, that I think about that in the sense of unconditional love. I think that being a parent, of course, opens up more gates to unconditional love because it's something that came from you that is alive and outside of you and growing on its own. Um, and I think that that really teaches a human being unconditional love of letting go and letting go of all the conditions. So they're different grades, I think, and then there's time within the unconditional love because the more unconditional love that you show, the more that people are open and receptive to you. And we may think that we show unconditional love, but in reality, we may not show unconditional love. And why is unconditional love so important? Because there are so many different unconditional love is the love without any conditions. It's a specific frequency. There's so much love with conditions. There's so much love with conditions. When we just let go and say, I'm not going to have any conditions and I'm just going to love and I don't care. There's certain resonance happens and then other people mimic that resonance and it becomes a domino effect. Of course, there's the fires had to be stoked and lit. It's a really deep element to love. Just be like, Apple, you will be my soulmate in the future. Hasbe shalom. That would be an interesting story, I say that because I like, but if it is, it is. So back to soulmates and back to unconditional love and all that schmoots. Um, I've met people that really their whole purpose is to grow their love unconditionally, not just for each other, but for the entire world. To just keep that ball rolling and being like, I want to love you unconditionally, and I want to learn from you to love unconditionally, and I want to just keep rolling with you and resonate that outwards into the world. And that's why people have children, and their children, great parents have children that I've met that resonate unconditional love. They just love, they just care, and they just are sharing human beings. And so it's not a common trait. It's not a common trait. I would argue that it is not a common trait to aspire, to seek, to understand that concept of unconditional love and just fervor to grow it, to just grow it like a fire, because that's really what grows us. At the end of the day, we do unto others as we want them to do unto us. So we don't want to judge people. And even when they've done like really nasty stuff, we think to ourselves, we have to judge them because of the consequences of the entire world. But at the same time, we have to mature so that this kind of thing doesn't ever happen again. So we can't just be, becoming this spin wheel of going in and out of the judiciary system. We have to put a stop to it. So I think that in various different criminal forms and whatnot. And I think about that when I go by the Los Angeles, I take the metro and I do a prayer. And I recommend that you do a prayer when you're going by a prison, to just take a moment and just think about those people. Because a lot of these people, and I think probably because I'm watching Orange is the New Black, but a lot of these people are really feel the remorse and feel the sense of pain that they've caused onto others. But they've got their sentence and they have to live it out. So but I still send them peace, and I still send them resonance, and I still send them that hope that their light is not dead. Their light is still alive, and their light can share even from an incarceration. The light can still share with the outside world. So a great deal of transformation can happen when we love unconditionally, when we kind of reach out, just go that extra mile and say, you know what, I had all these conditions for me to give you love, but I'm not. I'm just going to let go, and I'm just going to allow you to unfold. And when you do that, the person unfolds, and you think of yourself, wow, that's a miracle. That's a miracle. Oh, I'm thinking about specific situations that are running through my head, but my life personally. So I'm going to cut it long in this video, and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful year.